Get the tab and watch ad-free at patreon.com/pedalsteel.
Hey, welcome back, gang. Today we're continuing our series on speed progressions. Last week we finished up learning our 6 basic speed picking patterns with speed progressions 101 through 106. After rewriting this lesson for the 4th or 5th time, I realized I was trying to do too much in one lesson, so we're making some adjustments to the lesson plan. This 200 series will have 3 lessons, one on basic intros, or what to play before the speed progression to give it some flavor. We'll have one on exits with that same idea, and one on timing, or how we use just the right amount of notes so we end on the right beat. And this way, when we get to the 300 series, each connecting idea we have, the major, pentatonic minor, Mooney style, and B pedal bounce, get the attention it deserves. And while technically intros and exits would be something we connect to the speed progression, they're not as versatile as those other ideas we just talked about, which if that doesn't make sense now, you'll definitely understand when we get there. So this is also your sign. If you don't know the B pedal bounce, go ahead and check out those lessons if you want to get ahead of the game. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. Today we're talking about basic intros into a speed progression. So we're going to learn 3 styles: walk-ups, walk-downs, and licks. Pretty much self-explanatory. A walk-up is when we're going to start from a lower note that walks up into a speed progression. And a walk-down is when we start from a higher note and walk down to a speed progression. And a lick is going to be exactly what it sounds like. We're going to play a lick that leads into a speed progression. So let's take it from the top. All right, so number 1, you can see we've got a very simple walk-up from string 8, 8, 7, 6, add B, and then that's our little pivot point when we press that B pedal to move into speed prog 3. There's the whole speed prog. We're ending it at the 8th fret as an example of stopping on the C. Also just save us some time because this video is going to be pretty long. So when we're in the pedals up G position, that little walk up from the 8th string is just a half pedals up major scale. So then this would be a G into a C. This is also the exact same, playing the exact same notes could be a C to C example. If we were pedals down at the 3rd fret and now we're in a C chord, so that walk up from the 8th string would be walking into the root note 1 on string 6. So sol, la, ti, do. And then this would be the C version of speed prog 3. Going back to that 103 lesson, the pedals up to pedals down and pedals down to pedals up version of speed prog 3 start off exactly the same. So that's why this could be both a G to C or a C to C, even though we're playing the exact same notes. But just here's about as basic you can get, combining a walk up with a speed progression into a nice little lick. Check out number 2. You can see we're just adding a little pickup note into the walk-up with a little slide in from the 2nd fret. Otherwise, it's the same. We're walking up 8, 7, 6, add B. And now, instead of going into speed prog 3, we're going to move it up into strings 5 and 4 and run speed prog 4. So to do that, for some flavor, we're going to double back 5, 6, and then 5 and pedal in, and there's our pivot point to run speed progression 4, right? And just reminding ourselves of that one. Again, for sake of brevity, we're just ending it at the 6th fret, which is an A and F position, so a G, right? And you could, if you wanted to keep it shorter, you could just go straight into the progression. Like we talked about when we have our specific timing lesson later, that'll be some of the ideas we'll have in order to get the right amount of notes. Toggling back and forth before we get into the speed progression. And again, just a G to a G, right? Because we ran the pedals up version of speed prog 4. Check out number 3. Okay, you can see we're starting with that pickup note again, sliding in. Now we're doing a little B pedal bounce. 5, 6, release B, 7, 6, B, 5, 6. And now we're hitting that 5th string and pedaling in. And there's our pivot point. So you can see we're running the pedals down to pedals up version of Speed Prog 4 now. All right, there's the whole thing. So that means this is a C lick, right? Otherwise, if it was a G, we would run the version we did last time. And we're stopping at the 8th fret, which gives us a F position, so 1 to 4. There's an example of using pretty much the exact same walk-up as a pedals down lick, because we use the pedals down version of the progression, right? I could run that same exact walk-up, and now it's a G lick, right? Because we ran the pedals up version. Okay, so C to F on that one. Let's check out number 4. Here's just a very, let's go ahead and play it. Here's an example of adding some pickup notes that don't involve a walk up from the 8th string, just short and sweet. We could always add more to it. But it's just an example of getting us into Speed Prog 1. Again, there's that pivot point on the 5th string. We pick and rock on A. Reach up and grab that 3rd string, and now we're running it. And since we stopped at the 8th fret, right, we're in pedals down C. All right, pedals up C position. So a C to C lick. Okay. So let's check out some walk downs. First one's very simple again. We're got our B pedal down. So this is a G lick. And we're back to running Speed Prog 3. But since we're stopping at the 8th fret, we're taking it to a C chord. So again, very basic walk down this time. Again, into Speed Prog 3. Let's check out number 6. All right, so we're adding a little bit more to the walk down. This time we're picking 3 and releasing pedals. 1, 4, 5, and pedaling in. And there's our pivot point. Again, and we're moving into Speed Prog 4. The pedals up version, so that's what makes this a G. And again, into an A and F G position. All right, so now with number 7. So a couple things make this a C lick. One, we've got the 2nd string lowered, which makes it part of a C major scale, right? The pedals down major scale. The other thing is we go into the pedals down speed progression 1. So that also makes it a C. There's an example of using a walk down into Speed Prog 1, and just an example of adding some more notes into it, right? And of course, we could take the progression further. Again, just for sake of brevity, we're stopping there. Take a look at number 9. Here's our first lick, right? Just that classic pedal steel lick number 1. And now we're just using, running it straight into speed prog 3. And all we're doing is using that in note of the lick as the beginning of our speed prog. All right, number 10. All right, so here we're combining the walk up that we already learned earlier with a lick. All right, that's pedal steel lick number 2. And then pivoting that into our pedals down speed prog 4. There's our walk up, doubling the notes into the lick, and then pivoting into speed progression 4. You're stopping there, take it into a G, right? Otherwise, this is just pedals down licking stuff, right? Okay, number 11, we're doing a walk down. We've got our walk down that we already learned, which was pretty much the pedals down, major scale. And then we're continuing to walk it down by reversing our walk up. And then reversing that, so now we're walking back up. And there's our pivot point into speed prog 3, pedals up version. I'm sorry, the pedals down version, even though they're the same. Gang, so pretty short and sweet, I hope. But you can see all we did is add some really simple major scale movement and combine it with the speed progression. And when you start thinking about the exits we add to it, or maybe any connectors, you can really start to see how we can mix and match this stuff and come up with some really cool solos, right? Intro, speed prog, maybe a connector, another speed progression, exit. And all you did was memorize a few speed progressions and know your major scales. So next time we will check out the exits and then timing, and then we will get to the connectors. I'll see you next time.